Welcome one, welcome all back to Chronic Contemplations, where I talk with my man Josh about all sorts of things. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm better than bad. I'm above the dirt, keeping the red stuff on the inside. So we're
Hell
gonna
yeah.
call that a win. Yeah, we
Better
talk
to
about this,
pull.
we talk about that. No big whoop. Just two friends chopping it up about weird topics, deep thoughts. Deep thoughts from a shallow man. Me, of course, not you, Josh. You're as deep as the Mississippi is wide.
Man, well, you're gonna make me disappoint all these people when they realize I'm really
He calls himself a professional idiot. He's pretty dumb too.
not. Oh, my philosophy, I am human, we are all dumb.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Just look at the way we treat each other. But that's neither here nor there. I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned something once about you don't believe in free will. What
Ooh,
what are you talking about with that? And let's have a conversation about it because I'm really interested to know what this is all about. I have never heard this before. Just like the audience, this is what makes
ooh,
our conversation so good.
the free will conversation. Okay. First, I wanna go over a couple terms. I'm not. First of all, I'm not playing. I'm answering a question with a question, but just so we understand some terms. So, first of all, there is biblical free will, which obviously I just don't believe in on its face. God created everything, but gave you the will to make choices. That one just, that one goes out with the when you toss the water out, it goes out with it because on its face, Christianity, I think, is not worth believing in. Okay, moving on. Then there's libertarian free will. Then there's libertarian free will, which is basically, and anybody, if I'm simplifying this too much or I'm inaccurate, please correct me.
That's what the comment section's for.
That is what the comment section is for, and I'm sure when I put the description together, I'll have an email address. You can email me. I like to be challenged. I like to learn new things.
And
I
sidebar, if
think
you fools out there want to hear us talk about something, give us
uh,
some topics.
that too. Ooh, that's a good one. I like those opportunities in life when I'm shown I'm wrong because that means I learned something new. Anyway, so you got libertarian free will basically is you have the choice you're making is the evidence of your free will, and the idea if you were to have gone back in time, you can make a different choice. um, I am a determinist. In other words, the universe is basically a cause and effect chain. There's no, I know some people say, oh, that means you think the world is predetermined, like there's a goal. There's no goal. There's no set goal. It's determined. There's an unknown, and there's just this causal effect. Um, that's my mind. That's my mindset. And then there is what is known as a Molly. It's okay. Those are
She's
horses
putting
and
her two
cows.
cents in. She's got
Yeah.
something to say about this.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, she's reminding me. It's then what some people say is kind of in between. I have a hard time pronouncing saying it. Compatibility, compatibilitist, something like that. It's sort of like um, we have free will in the essence that we're an autonomous agent and we're making our choices. That's the free will component, but the grand scheme of things, we're still subject to deterministic factors such as the laws of physics and whatnot. So um,
I'm
there's
just as lost as I was at the beginning. Just so you know.
yeah, I know. That's the thing. There's a lot of things to
But you don't believe
hash
in
out in the
anything. Is that
free
accurate?
will.
You don't believe in any free will, period.
I don't believe in any free will. No, no.
Yeah,
I am a
I'm trying to
hard
wrap my head
determinist.
around that. How can you not believe in free will? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to
Mhm,
understand where you're coming from because I don't get it.
mhm.
Like without
Um,
free will, how do you make any choices? That's my question.
well, we make choices, but those choices aren't based on actually any free will. Neuroscience shows that this is a lecture from Sam Harris, where I got this, and you can look into it. There's also another gentleman out there, Robert Sapolsky. He's also a neurobiologist. That he great. He's great. He's written a couple great books too. Anyway, one is Determinism. I think it's called Determinism. Anyway, our choices. There's brain activity. Like we make those choices. There's like brain activity of us making those choices before we actually say or act or put those choices into action. And me personally, I think it also comes down to free will. To me, is the idea of being able to choose whatever you want to, but we're only limited on what's available to us to make a choice of. If that makes any sense. Like I can't just choose to
And
fly.
the
Like
informed
I don't have
decision.
that. Like I don't have that free will to choose to just go flap my arms and fly. That's totally out of the
To
question.
just go do what?
To flap my arms and fly. Like you can't
Oh,
will that. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you start putting things up, like going through a checklist of things that you think you're making a free choice of, you, if you hash that out, the nuts and bolts, at the end of the day, it's questionable if you actually are. Like when
but
you're hungry.
choosing not to fly isn't a choice. I am physically incapable of the act. So how does
Mhm.
that relate to free will? I don't understand that analogy.
Okay, that like I said, that might have been an extreme analogy. Okay, let's go something. Let's go something something you can't choose. You can't choose when to be hungry or not. You can choose what you eat
Sure.
when you're hungry. So first of all, that choice you're about to make on what to eat already being influenced by something out of your control that you don't have a choice, and that's being
It's a
hungry.
simple biological factor.
Yeah. So okay, so let's move to what to eat. Okay. Um, what goes into that?
What do
What
you have
what what
available to you?
what you have available. Also,
Your
what
time,
you
what you have time
what
for.
do you have
Can you cook or you got to nuclear that pop time?
you don't have control of your time. There's only so much time, minutes in a day, seconds in a minute, blah 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 blah. But there's another factor in there that you're leaving out. Our wants and our desires. We don't choose those, and those go into our decision factors, like what we eat, like what we like to taste, what tastes good to us. Like those, we don't choose that.
Well, I
We don't
love
choose
apple
that at
pie,
all.
but it's not in my refrigerator right now, so I'm not having that for breakfast.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that where the free will kind of it's like an illusion? Because
yeah. It's
if you really
it's
had free
free.
will, you would just do every last thing that you really, really, truly wanted to do. Yes, is that the argument?
Um, I guess outside of like any physical action that's outside of like physics, morality is one. A lot of people feel that if you don't like, oh, if you don't believe in free will, then you don't believe in consequences. You don't believe in God, shoot, basically morality, I guess. There's usually a component to that. I know this is every time I'm asked about the free will thing, I feel like I haven't accurately uh, articulated my position on that. It's a
Yeah,
tricky.
I'm still
It's
trying to find it.
it's
I get
it's
where
a
you're coming
real
from. Free
tricky
will to
one.
you is more of an
Yeah,
illusion, an illusory effect. You think you're exercising your
yeah,
free will, but at the end of the day, what you're exercising is your brain's ability to be a computer, make 8 billion calculations within 1 second based on different factors that are marginal, tertiary, and primary to the situation,
hmm
and then coming up with the best solution for you.
yeah. A lot of that's also based off our experience and instincts, and without even us really even like a
Again, that
lot of
goes into the
times.
computer calculation.
A lot of times when we make our choices, we're not even thinking at all. We just do it out of habit. And at that point it's not you like there's not even like there's no will component there. It's just habit. You're just doing it to do it. You're programmed. And I'm not saying like we're programmed as in like we're plugged into the matrix. Hey, yes, I know that's the matrix out there for you. That's the real world and you're in here. Stop it. But oh, where was I? Okay, yeah. So they're like we go throughout the day thinking that a lot of times we're making choices and we're not. We're acting to stimulus. Like we're reacting.
So we're
Um,
not thinking; it's just a simple
mhm.
learned reaction,
Yeah,
almost like what do they call it, biological history or whatever. Like you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
your ancestors' history too. At some point, it all filters into your lizard brain in those
hmm
every day. Like driving, they say while you're driving, you make literally tens of trillions of calculations per second in your brain
hmm
while you're
Yeah,
driving. All the things you got to think about while you're driving. I feel like
and
I
you're
check out while I'm driving. I'm not even there. I'm just
and
I'm just passively not killing myself while my mind is a million miles away.
yeah, and you're totally unaware of it.
Exactly. Sometimes I get to my destination, I'm thinking, "Fuck, did I even drive just now?" And I wasn't drinking either. That,
Yeah, I so and all right, the way our legal system is here in America is there is a component of it is based off the idea that free will is a thing of existence. That's why we usually punish instead of rehabilitate or re-educate or whatnot. More modern man, we are more leaning toward rehabilitation, re-education stuff because we are starting to realize that humans we're animals. We do things out of uh, again out of lack of control because we don't have that because we don't have free will. And I'm not saying that absolves somebody of doing anything of ill intent or hurting someone. It doesn't. It doesn't. Just like a car doesn't decide to break down. Um, yeah, sure, you can lock a car up. You're not going to fix it. It's still going to be a broken car. But you can fix it. I know I'm using a car as an analogy for humans, but animals in general, you know, our minds are for the most part uh, rehabilitative, moldable, indoctrinatable, re-education. I hate using re-education because it sounds sort of tyrannical and re-education camp thing. I know that sounds weird, but just like somebody can be re-educated to do bad things, re-education can make people have healthier habits too. Because again, that we don't have that free will. We're programmable like that. So yeah, I had another point there I wanted to get to. You got any other questions? Maybe
I don't know. Me being me, and just
mhm,
the way that I think, I hate the thought of not having free will.
Yeah.
Because that means, like you said, with the determinism thing, I don't want to feel like things are just determined.
Mhm.
I mean, I get cause and effect. That makes sense to me. I understand that, but there's more to it than that. If I can't affect anything, then I don't need to be here. And I have a
You
hard time
do.
believing that. I think I do need to be here.
So, all right, right there. Okay, okay. I understand that concern. It makes you feel powerless.
And
Um,
meaningless.
and okay, fair,
Both.
meaningless.
Powerless and
Um,
meaningless. What's the point? Fuck it. Let's just get a hot bath going and open some
it,
veins. I'm done
it,
here.
it is. I think it's part of our human ego to have that bit of arrogance. I think it's part of our survival instinct to feel that feel that meaning, because it makes us want to survive and keep going. But at the end of the day, we are just a speck of very fine, minute dust on dust in a vast universe and galaxy cosmos of just more dust. And I know that sounds nihilistic, and it is. Um, but I think we make our own meaning too.
Carl
It,
Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson say we are star stuff.
both of them are also determinists, by the way.
Touche.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess
Um,
my concept of free will is
okay.
incomplete. It's
So
incomplete.
okay. So have you ever like watched like a nature video or gone out on a nature walk, and you're watching nature, and you're not watching just a leaf. You're watching that leaf on that branch, on that tree, on that ground next to that bush with its leaves and its branches. And there's a bird. That bird flies down. There's worm there. It grabs the worm. It flies up. It just you know the world's processes are happening before your eyes, and you're witnessing it. Like, sure, you might focus on maybe that leaf in the moment or just that bird, but all in all, you're focused on physics, chemistry, biology, processes of the world happening. We humans, we just happen to fit into that. And
I disagree with that statement wholly.
but we do. We are part of nature. We're from nature.
But,
We are of nature.
but
We're
what we
we're
do is not part of nature. We are a part of nature. We think we're better
yeah,
than nature. We force nature to our needs.
mhm,
We force the planet to our needs.
yeah.
We
I
force
know.
everything to our needs. We're not part of the system. We are manipulators of the system. We are
Again,
destroyers of the system.
that's part of that arrogant survival mode, that's part of our human makeup. It's understanding that we have it and being aware of it. Like, okay,
Not doing anything about it.
it's just
We are
it's like
parasites. Agent Smith
it's
had it best. He
just
said that we're a virus,
yeah,
and
just
that's
like
accurate.
any other bad habit us humans have. It's a matter of being aware of it and mitigating it, stopping it, curving it, whatever you need to do to live more harmoniously. But yeah.
Zelensky said it best in Tommy Boy. You've identified the problem. Now, wash it off. The next step is washing it off.
um, if you look at oh shoot, are you familiar with those group experiments that people have done on groups of humans? Like they did that one. I wish I remember it on the top of my head. They did a movie with it. Adrian Brody plays in it, where
I
they
know
take
exactly what you're talking about. It's the prison experiment. I
yeah,
believe that was at Stanford, the Stanford prison experiment.
yeah. Like that shit's legit.
Absolute brutality,
That shit's legit. Like
anarchy.
that's how fragile our human minds are. Because we are subject to stimulus and pressures that we're unaware of that's going on, and in the way we think when we're in a herd in mass and in
My
different
mentality is a
ways.
real thing. A
Mob
normal
mentality is
person who would
definitely a
a
real thing.
normal person who would never
Yeah,
cut up
yeah.
rough in the
But
middle of a
see,
group that's going crazy
yeah,
ape shit are likely to join in
yeah.
going crazy ape shit and break stuff and tip over cop
But
cars and shit.
if you're outside looking in, you're thinking to yourself, man, I wouldn't do that. But when you're in it, doing it, you're not thinking. You're not thinking. You're acting. You're reacting. You're doing.
But then there's a
Again,
person like myself, and I know this about me.
well,
I'm in
yeah,
the middle of
because
that. I'm thinking I've got to get the hell out of this,
yeah. Well,
and I
there's
make my
there's
way out of this. I don't join in the mayhem. I'm not a mayhem
there's
kind of person.
there's different levels of awareness, just for sake of argument, and there's different levels of awareness. It just seems like the majority of us are on the same one.
Well, there is exactly that fact, right? It's a sociological
Yeah.
anomaly.
Hmm.
A
But
normal
see, I
person
think
who would never do something like that will do
yeah.
something like that right in the middle of a big crowd like that just because everyone else is doing it.
Hmm.
Me, I'm getting away from all that shit because I don't need to be singled out by a goddamn policeman, and I always do. Something about his
Yeah.
glorious beard brings the cops to Michael.
Yeah, and that's fine. You're like that's who you are. That's like your awareness level puts you in a position where you know, hey, this isn't where I need to be. However,
No,
a lot of people doesn't have that. They don't have that amount of awareness level. However, there's still like there is no. They're not acting on free will. Like they're acting on pure pure raw emotion. Like they're
and a
they're
lot of times,
react
a lot of alcohol.
and a lot of yeah. I mean, like
Add
so.
that to the situation.
I I know, I know this sounds weird because you're right. Alcohol is an inhibitor of
The,
our
the great
our
stupefier.
yeah, it makes us yeah, our faculties. What are those? Um, agreed. Yeah, but like even that right there shows how fragile we are. Like to just like lose our control just because we drink too much. And this doesn't go for everybody, of course, but again, it's like on a spectrum level of awareness. Um, but it's there. The the lack of the illusion of free will is there, and that's what it is. It's an illusion. Um, imagine you will imagine you're going through life, and this has happened to people. You're going through life and you have some traumatic brain injury. You become a completely different person after that. Maybe you were a good person, you turn bad, or vice versa. Like that was that one dude that got a pole stuck in his fucking head and had dual personalities. Um, but
To be
let's
fair, yeah,
say,
hope
let's
is
say, let's say your personality has changed. You're aware of who you used to be, what people say you were, and et cetera, and et cetera. But you're different now. That brain trauma or whatever you went through changed your the way your brain fires, your synopsis, the way you think and do things, and the conclusions you come to, and your attitude toward life. Like you know this now. Like you know you're different. Like you can't, but see, but a
I know
person
they say
can't
I'm
just.
different, but I don't remember it. Is that accurate?
No, you can remember being different. Like you can remember parts of your
Then
old
I can
self, how you
choose
used
to
to be.
continue being that person.
Can you like the new person, or can you choose to
The new
change?
person, if they remember the person they used to be, they can choose to be that person.
Nah, you can't. You can't go back to being the same person
Why not?
because you're. No matter how much you try, you might.
Because the brain
Because
chemistry with the TBI
okay,
makes it impossible. Is that what you're
because
telling me?
okay, but see, but at that point, you're not choosing to be the same that who you are. You're you're choosing to act that way until it becomes that because you're not okay. If your sense of humor is now gallow humor, but before it was more slapstick humor, and you think, man, God, I would have laughed at the Three Stooges, but I just don't laugh at them anymore. But a joke about uh, asking me for a suicidal liberal wanting to be patriotic, because that's you find that funny now, and people are like, oh man, you used to not find jokes like that funny, and it's like, well, I I I, I don't now. You can't just choose to change your sense of humor, can you?
Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but again, I mean, that crosses away from the realm, in my opinion, now, mind you, of free will, because something has happened against your will. You had no choice in it. An
yeah.
accident happened, a wreck. Let's say it was a car wreck, whatever, and now your head is scrambled. That's not your
Mhm,
fault, unless you were drinking and driving or something. Then that's karma biting you in the ass or whatever.
mhm.
Let's talk about karma sometime too.
I will. Karma kind of goes into this as well.
But that's the
Um,
thing. It's like that had nothing to do with free will to begin with.
mhm.
It
But
just
that's
happened.
my point.
It's cause and effect.
That's my
Well,
point. That is
if
us.
everyone
That
have
is
it,
that is our
I'm,
biological entities and our brains and stuff reacting to stimulus in the world because we're part of that world.
but that's a defective portion. It's not a normal brain now. It's a damaged brain. And again, that to me that steers off the free will path and more toward the well, shit happens path. Make the best of it. I mean, okay,
Mhm.
you've got a bunch of lemons now, buddy. Make some lemonade if you can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's not even so much a reaction. That's just
I'm
the
not
way it is.
saying, yeah, I'm not saying it's a cause and effect. It absolutely cause and effect is my point.
But
Like,
just
I'm not,
because it's cause and effect doesn't mean you don't have free will.
and there's no way, well, you can't will yourself to change back, can you?
Well, again, I mean, with the sense of humor thing that I get, but all I'm saying is, if the person can remember who they used to be and the way they used to, handle situations,
Hmm.
they can choose to fall back into that person. If they know they can do it, they know they used to do it. I mean,
Hmm.
what would make somebody, I get with the traumatic brain injuries, they do have weird effects on your personality. I get that
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that those kind of people remember that it didn't used to be that way.
Hmm.
That's just what it is now because they've been damaged. Like those certain connections are now severed. That's generally what happens with brain damage. That's why it's damaged brain. There's severed connections. The synapses you were talking about can't fire anymore. They're not there.
Yeah,
Or they're firing, but they're like, they stop here, and there's a missing track. The train stops, and the message never gets received.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So in that case, yeah, you're right. You can't just choose to be who you used to be because you just don't recall. I would think. I don't know. We need to research that particular part of that.
That is, yeah,
Like
that's
with traumatic
like,
brain injuries, we should have had a medical professional on to talk about this.
no, no, no. I know some good citations for why I don't think free will exists. Like I said, it's a hard one for me to articulate because free will is not one of those things discussed a lot in like conversation. I mean, until I probably brought it up, you said you never even heard of it. The
that,
last
that
guy
people would
that
deny free will. Yeah, I never ever
yeah,
thought I
because
heard
it's
that.
not normal. It's not normal. It's just a
I
normal
watch a
thing.
lot of weird YouTube videos about a lot of weird philosophical thought.
Yeah.
I've never come across that one.
Type in philosophical free will and
No,
go
I'll
down
check it
that
out. I'll
rabbit
check it out. I'll check more
go
about it out.
go and I'm sure you'll come across Sam Harris. I disagree with Sam Harris on a lot of political shit, but when it comes to his arguments, uh, why God does not exist or he doesn't believe one exists, his argument against free will, like really uh, astute man when it comes to that. And he backs up with facts. Again, he that's kind of his his bag of money and bag of money, kind of like where his bread and butter is like neuroscience and shit. Then there's Robert Sapolsky. He's a neurobiologist. Um, he's written books on the matter of free will and determinism and stuff. Then there's like modern philosophers. Matt Dillahunty's one. Uh, there is Daniel Denton. He passed away last year or the year before. He was a compatibilist. So he was in between. There's Steve Carell, the physicist, not the actor. Uh, he's I think he's in between as well. Neil deGrasse Tyson has spoke on the matter. Carl Sagan has spoken on the matter. So yeah, I mean, depends on where you're picking up your conversation, but free will and
So,
common parlance just really isn't a thing.
so along those lines, do you think that we are in a simulation, being that that's part of the like parameters of the program or whatever, if that makes sense?
When you say simulation, a lot of people's brain goes to like the Matrix or something of that sort, like a physical thing, like a physical realm, like we're hooked up to a computer, and like what we're experiencing now is like not real.
If
Um,
it's
no,
if it's
I
simulation
don't.
theory the way I understand it, there's no body out there at all.
I
None of
don't.
this is real.
Okay,
None of it is.
yeah, yeah. That's uh, like a
We're
brain in a
pixels in
vat.
somebody else's. We're
That's
pixels in somebody else's video game.
Yeah, that's like hard solipsism. If anybody want to look up that philosophy, it's pretty interesting. But as in that sort of simulation, no. As in the simulation, that we as a species has removed ourselves from reality. Like, as when I say reality in this vein, I mean like the natural world. Like I heard somebody use this
We're all
example.
right here in the digital world
Well,
where we
and you
need
know
you to
what?
stay, loyal viewers.
That's that way. You know what? That actually will. I'm gonna use that as an analogy too. But first, I want to use the pumpkin one. In the real world, there's the pumpkin. This is based off a book, Simulacra Simulation, uh, which the guy's name escapes me. Shit, Beauregard, something Beauregard,
Just watch the movie
Beauregard.
The Matrix and you'll see it when Neo pulls his goodies
Yeah,
down.
it's
He
that one.
hides them in
Yes,
that book.
it is. Thank you, that one. Anyway, so there's the pumpkin. The pumpkin's the real world, and then you have the simulation pumpkin pie. It's not like the real thing, but it's got elements of the real thing. A simulation. Then you have simulacra, which would be pumpkin spice in your latte. Nothing to do with pumpkin at all. There's no essence of pumpkin, but it has a taste of it. Like it reminds you of pumpkin. It's the simulacra.
Pumpkin spice
Uh,
scented trash bags.
sort of like you can look at two people conversing one on one, face to face would be sort of like normal reality, blah blah blah. Then you have the written word. You send each other letters and whatnot. That would be like a simulation. Like it's the essence of face to face communication, but you remove the people from it, and it's just the communication. Then you can take that a step further. The telephone, email, digital, etc. It builds and builds. You're so far removed to the real world that we live in a simulacrum. So, and there's definitely some overlap when it comes to free will, because I think that simulacra builds is part of that illusion, is why we don't question if we have free will or not. So, yeah, hope that made sense to people out there. That was the best way I could explain it. Um, like philosophy, I am hobbyist at best. So,
Well, I just found it to be an interesting and an interesting concept when you mentioned it the first time. I definitely want
Yeah,
to talk to you about it, and I thought, "Heck, I'm going to save it for the show." So
it's a good one.
I think there's a little disconnect simply because, like you were saying, you think you're having a hard time articulating it, and I'm very much I can't wrap my head around the concept of I have no power over anything ever. That just
Hmm.
to me is it's anathema to existence. To me,
Okay, I got a question. When you die, what do you think happens to you,
I
Michael,
don't
after you
know.
you
Me, my
don't know?
body, it rots.
No, like, all right, all right, so okay, your body
My
rots.
conscience, my consciousness,
Hmm.
hopefully, I just disperse into the universe, and then all the knowledge. I get all the knowledge of the universe. I'll be out in the universe. I'll have all the knowledge of the universe. I love to learn. I want to know everything as much as I possibly can. I want to know everything. And
Okay,
in my perfect world, when I die, that's the next great adventure. It's just all the knowledge awaits. Finally, these shackles are gone. Like my brain wants to rebel from the rest of my body. Think about it. It's all right here. And I'm dragging all this other shit around just to take care of that. This thing, if it had its way, would just float off into the void. You know what I mean? It would just go. And I'm
okay.
thinking, hopefully, that's what death is. But I don't
So, all
know
right,
that. I don't know that.
no, you're good. But I think that's the difference between you and I. Um,
You
I've
know what happens when we
accepted.
die?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
That's not what I'm saying. Because I don't know. I haven't accepted any sort of what if or hope there is scenario after we die. Like, and you had also said you make it right. I feel as though you think our consciousness is independent of our body or
it is.
bio.
Everything that is me is right here.
Okay,
Everything that is me.
that all right. So I disagree with. I think our consciousness is just a emergent property of the biological processes of our brain. Once our brain stops functioning, our consciousness ceases to exist as well. That's the way I look at it. Because and because I've accepted things like that, it's like I'm not worried about the idea of feeling powerless or meaningless or anything of that sort.
Because you know you are.
I know. Well, in in the grand scheme of things, I am. However, to myself, I'm not, and to the people that care for me and I care about and love and stuff, like there is a shared meaningfulness there. But outside the grand scheme of things, there's not. So, like we we make meaning, but meaning isn't. Meaning is our meanings are so we socially construct that. It's part of like our human nature. We're social animals, so it's part of that. Um, yeah. God, fuck, man.
That was the heavy. You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, no, no. I'm trying to. Yeah, this like God. This is.
I don't feel like it's an argument. I don't feel like you need to try to sway me. I'm just trying to
Oh
understand your
no, no.
view. That's
I'm
all.
not.
I'm really, literally,
No.
I'm just trying to understand where you're
Oh
coming
no,
from.
I'm not. I'm not. And I agree. I'm not trying to sway. I'm trying to articulate it in a way because we're so used to thinking that we live because the illusion is so thick. It's hard to think outside of that
The
and
veil.
and imagine existing without free will, and it's fucking scary. I shit you not. Like that is
Yeah,
a
I'm absolutely
scary
resistant to the
thought.
thought. Like I said, it's just to
Yeah,
me, it's anathema to existence to not have any power. I mean, as an individual, I'm not saying I want power. I don't want to be an emperor. I'd be a
I know
damn
what you
diddle about.
mean. I know. No. I know what you mean. I'm not saying you're not talking about authoritarian power. You're just
Correct,
talking
correct,
about
correct.
like
Just the
agency,
ability,
autonomy
the
over
agency.
yourself.
Yes, agency. That's a good word.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. I like just all right. Just like when you get on a plane to fly across the country over to the world, you have no control. Whatever happens between the moment you get on that plane, you fucking land, you have zero control at all. You might be able to choose. Like you might be able to choose to get up and walk up and down that aisle, stretch your feet, take a nap, uh, annoy the person next to you, get annoyed, eat, all that. But ultimately, you are stuck there. You have no power to get off that thing. You're stuck until that thing lands. You know what else? You can die. Boom. No power. None. When you're sitting on that fucking tube, that flying tube in the air, and I've thought about this every fucking time I've flown since the moment I joined the Air Force when I was 19. I knew every fucking moment I got on a tube, a flying tube through the air, I knew I might not ever get off of that thing, not alive at least. Totally powerless. I had no control over it, but I had to. I had to fucking do it. I signed a dotted line and I had to fucking do it. I had to get on
If
that
you were
fucking thing.
flying the plane, would you feel you were powerless?
No, because I had control. Yeah. Yeah. No,
So it's
no,
not
that's
just
why.
the tube; it's the fact that
That's
you have no. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You're just in a
That's
seat. You're a
why.
passenger, and you're right.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
fucking tube hurtling through the air.
Yeah.
What is
That's why.
that?
That's why I understand when I bring up the idea that free will doesn't exist and people stop and think about it. Like that's like when you're on a plane thinking, I got no power. I could just die. I have no power. I have no control of my life right now. None.
I have no fear of flight. I fly a lot.
Oh, I don't either. But that's the
I get
kind of
it. I mean, the thoughts
perspective.
are
Yeah.
there. Like
Yeah.
you hit a little turbulence. Oh shit! Is it going down?
Hmm. Yeah. That's like going down the highway and you're beeping along, but boo doo 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 doo, I'm good to go. And you don't know that semi is coming down, the opposite directions, fuck about to fall asleep uh uh behind that wheel and come hurling right into you. Boom, you're gone. Yeah, like that again, we have no power. That's the thing, we have no power, no control. We feel like we do, but we're on a rock, a round sphere rock hurling through the universe. We only
At
have as much
10,000 miles an
free
hour.
will. We only have as much free will as the universe lets us think we have. So
I
yeah,
can dig it.
yeah.
I think you've made your point.
Okay.
I can't.
I,
I can't get behind that.
fair enough.
It,
Fair enough.
it makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
I think it's my own ego getting in the way. Like you said,
That's cool. No worries.
that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I make my choices, and again, I think my personal thought on free will, like my not correct definition of free will, is what prevents me from understanding what you're saying. I mean, I understand it, but I mean, to really let it penetrate, you know what I mean? The force field's still up.
Well, I just want to caveat that, and this is why I did a lot of name dropping and stuff because I am not an expert. I am just a veteran with an associate's degree in munitions, but I took a little bit of philosophy. I find shit curious, but I feel like I know where to go to get the answers. And I'm not saying they have de facto answers, but I can. Hey, this person can explain it better than I can, or maybe this person can explain it better than I can. That's a good thing about going like when you're learning a particular topic or subject. Go to multiple sources because maybe one person's just not saying it the right way that somebody else can say that makes it click. So yeah,
I dig
I'm
it.
no expert. Yeah, he's a professional idiot. I'm just an idiot.
Can't even say I'm a professional at that. Can we close out on something a little lighter?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's that's
I've
that's
got
that's
something I've been
yeah.
dying to tell you. I think I might have already said it once, but I want to tell it again. Let me hear. Do you have a really good chronic story? It's the Chronicle Contemplations. We just contemplated for a while. Now let's get chronicle. Do you have a really good chronic story? Like something goofy that happened, something silly that happened, and The
Okay,
medicine might have had a lot to do with that.
so this wasn't from my perspective being stoned because I was sober. I was about to get stoned, but it's like the first black market purchase of weed when I got out of the military. I was in my
I like the
mid
sound of that
30s,
black market purchase. You're really spinning a tale here. I love it.
right? Yeah. It was like the first time I actually ever bought weed was like in high school because I happened to have a friend that knew his brother knew a guy and he could get us like a nickel, like a little fucking nugget. And we're sitting there in the fucking bathroom with the fucking coke cans. Dude, don't you smoke fucking butt through aluminum? Fucking, I'm gonna beat your ass anyway.
That
Um,
was
so
the kid. That's different.
I'm like 36. I'm in Arizona, and Marine, ex-Marine. He was ex-Marine. We were all veterans, starting to go through MMI at the time, and I was telling him a story about some bunk shit that I fucking smoked, and he's like, "Here, man, try some of this," and he gave me this fat fucking nug that I tried. And it was dope. I go in the next day, like, "Hey, man, where can I get some?" And he hooked me up with this guy, and this guy just happened to be another student. And so he was also another veteran. So it was like, cool. He's like, hey, meet me over at my place at blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So this is my first weed deal after the Air Force. I go over, this guy is in his 20s. I'm in my 30s. His roommate's in his 20s. And some guy shows up out of nowhere, like after I bought the weed and right before we start smoking it. And at this time, again, I was just some army brat. The first time I had smoked it was in high school, and I was very naive about it. Drinking a beer was more normal than smoking weed in high school, where I was at during my adolescence. So I really didn't know never really used a bong. I knew what a bong was, never really used it or whatnot, or the frat boy etiquette around smoking weed. Anyway, so dude comes in and grabs the bong and milks the fuck out. You know what milking a bong is? So since this story, I'm a fucking weedhead. I did the fucking slogans and slings and all that shit. I know.
Because everybody pulls two, pulls two, pulls two, but it just gets thicker and thicker and thicker.
Yeah, it's just where
You
you
don't
just
clear
keep.
it. You just keep pulling it.
Well, no, it's just like you keep pulling it until the whole entire tube is milk white.
Right, right,
Basically,
right.
it's
You
just
don't.
thick ass
Yeah.
fucking smoke. Yeah. Anyway, the dude did that, milked it, pulled the fucking bowl, inhaled it, fucking held his breath, and I shit you not, hands the bong off. Somebody else took it, and the guy just falls flat on his face in the kitchen floor, dude. And I'm like, I just bought some of this. What is going on? And God, I can't remember the guy's name. The guy I fucking bought it from. He's like, your turn. I'm like, no, nuh-uh. Nope, not doing it, man. Not gonna fucking do it. I'm not. No. I don't. Matter of fact, can I get my money back? I don't know if I smoke this now. So he just
I
pulls
don't
out a
hit
little.
bongs, man. I don't do bongs.
So he pulls out a fucking little pipe, and I fucking smoked out of that. I was a little bitch. Now I can do bong rips and dabs and all that. I don't
Uh,
do it as much as now that I'm older, but I did to a point. I did get over that bong, but I still
they
never
make me
fucking
so
hit it so
dumb
hard.
so fast.
I never did it to where I wanted to fucking face first into a kitchen floor though. I'm sorry.
That's
I
hilarious.
Yeah, it shocked the fuck out of me. I'm like,
Out of the movie,
why would
like right out of the
anybody
movie.
do that? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that's the thing. Like Hollywood hype shit up, and then some people live that hype outside of Hollywood, and then you look dumb. And then you get this guy in mid 30s, never smoked weed. Because here's the thing, mid 30s. This was 2011. I graduated high school in '96, so in the back of my mind, I know weed has gotten stronger, so to say. It's different.
It's a science now.
It's just yeah, right. So I knew. So when that guy hit the floor like that, I'm like, my God, what did I get myself into? This is fucking super weed, man.
Hang a cape on it, call it super weed.
Oh man, but I learned from that moment. I absolutely loved fucking weed, and yeah,
Haven't stopped fucking it since.
ain't fucking nope. Got a divorce first.
That's a pretty good story. Right off the tip, I mean,
Thanks.
off the cuff too, because you did not know
Yeah.
that was coming. That's what I love about these conversations. We do them
Oh yeah.
live, and they are live. So
Mm,
here's mine. Saturday night, as you know, I produced a comedy show,
okay. Yes.
and I headlined, and I had to host. My host didn't show up, so we've got a packed house. I don't drink, I don't smoke before the show. I'm a professional. You get a show. After the show, however, I'm ready to get high. So I'm like, hey, Marco, I saw you smoking a joint earlier, motherfucker. Where's the joint? Come on, let's go. He says, oh, man, I only rolled the one. I said, you're kidding me. He says, no. I said, you got weed in the car, so I'm going to go roll one. He goes, yeah, I can do that. I'll go roll one right now. So I went downstairs, got the gate money all separated out and everything. Came up, paid everybody. Marco says, well, listen, I got to get going. Just have this. And I'm like, come on, smoke it with me. He says, no, man, I'm good. We got to get going. We got somewhere else we have to be. There's a band playing we want to see or some shit after the show. So I says to this other cat that was on the show, hey, man, you want to smoke this joint with me? He said, yeah, sure. And then he went back downstairs into the bar. You can't smoke that at a bar. So I'm right there at the outside. I just, well, what the
Sure
hell?
you can.
So I sparked it up right there on the fucking sidewalk, and I'm smoking it. I'm smoking. I got about halfway through this joint. It's smooth and man, it's nice. It's just really putting the mellow on. Oh boy, was it just what the doctor ordered. So the other cat, Tyler, he pops outside. I'm like, here you go, hit this. So we smoked the rest of that thing. And then my knee was humming. I'm old, so I got a bad knee. I got two bad knees, actually, but my left knee is the worst. Anyway, I don't want to take the stairs, a bunch of stairs. So I go to the elevator. I press the elevator button. Mind you, this is the same hotel bar I work every single Thursday. I host trivia, live trivia,
Yeah.
every Thursday for almost 5 years. In October of this year, it'll be 5 years. Same location.
Oh wow.
Keep that in mind. So I hit the button for the elevator and I'm waiting around. The elevator finally comes, the doors open. I stepped inside and I immediately panicked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I got lost. I walked into a dead end hallway. What the hell just happened? I jumped back out of the elevator, went, whoa, jump back out of the elevator. And in that second, right, I'm thinking, oh no, I somehow like slipped the time space continuum. I'm somewhere else on the planet. I literally was outside my own skull on this whole situation. What just happened? How did this possibly happen?
It's like,
And then
Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore.
I looked over, Josh, and I saw the numbers on the wall, like the buttons on the wall. And I just
Yeah.
shook my head and I said out loud, I'm retarded. Got right back on the elevator and went back downstairs. I could not believe I did that. I mean, dude, I was high school high. I can't believe that, dude. I mean, I waited for the door for like a minute and a half, full minute and a half, just waiting. It opened magically like a door does for the elevator, and there I am, boom, stepping inside, and then I immediately, what the hell? How did I end up in this dead end hallway? Who does that? So what I'm
You
saying is, that was some good ass weed. Wish I had him roll me a whole lid full of joints.
sounds like some fucking top notch shit, dude. I love getting high school high, man. That's oh man. Those moments are like, wait a second, what class am I going to? Oh shit, I'm 47. I graduated high school already. Fuck.
This is some good shit. It's like I
Oh
really
man.
identify with that meme out there. It's I remember when I was in high school, we'd go out, a mile behind the movie theater in the woods to smoke a joint, and we'd all be freaking out, like the cops are going to come any second. And now it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm just going to hit my vape pen right here in Target.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Just
It is a
smoke
whole new
trains right
world, and
through
I'm
the
telling you right
fucking
now, that's one thing the human race is getting right. Just letting go of weed because it's not a gateway drug. It's not It won't ruin your life. It'll just make you 10 to 15 minutes late to everything you ever do. For me, anyway. You said you're a punctual pothead. I'm not.
Except for today. Oh, it was a combination of staying up late, creativity, helping my dad move some shit, and my dogs. But other
On
than
the day
that,
of my death, the day right now, and be yelling at the guys next to me, going, "Come on, puff, puff, fast, let's go! I got to get in this box."
I gotta roll this joint, son. I mean, dad.
And this, my friends, has been Chronicle Contemplations.
Yes. Michael, you have a great day.
Every day above the dirt's a great day. Don't forget it. Keep the red stuff on the inside. Look down at the grass. Do not feed it. And whatever you do, keep your chin up. Do not go toes up.
And that's it.